Hey everybody, Dave Ashenbrenner, and everybody's going to wonder where I've been lately. We've been, this weather in Florida has just been spectacular, and we're on our way out to ride on the Santos Trail. We're at the Santos State Park, as you can see around me, and right behind me is the trail that we're going to be riding. We're going to be doing a 32 miler today. It's about 15 and change, 3/4 of a mile up, and then there's a turnaround at Highway 200 and back. So we'll see you when I get back, or maybe we'll see you at the turnaround. Well, here we are about halfway up the trail. We're about 7 3/4 of a mile up, and we're on the land bridge. The land bridge on the Marjorie, what is this, Marjorie?
Marjorie Harris Car.
The Marjorie Harris Car Cross Florida Trail, and it crosses Interstate 75. You'll see, we'll get up here and see our little traffic view here. So I'm going to report back when we get to the end of the trail, our turnaround up there on Highway 200. So until then, we're going to be riding our AR3s. Well, here we are halfway. We're at the turnaround point, and so it's just a little cul-de-sac. That's Highway 200 behind us, and we are at so far the trail's end right here. We have a couple bikers, on their e-bikes behind me, and as you can see over my shoulder, we are riding I'm going to turn the camera around here. Are riding the AR3s, and I made a little luggage rack for them. It's out of a solid 1/2-inch aluminum rod and 3/8 rod, very sturdy. I've actually sat on it and jumped up and down, and I weigh 180 and change, maybe 184 with my clothes on, and that didn't even flex it. So here's our ride. And we are going to have a little drink and report back when we get back to the trailhead. So we'll see you back there. Well, we made her back, and we're all loaded up, ready to go. We had a little motor flame out on the way back, so I was helping push. We were about 3/4 of the way back, so it wasn't too bad. Got our exercise anyway, but meet you back at the shop. Well, here we are back at the shop. I discovered what that motor flame out was. The motor came unplugged. It had torqued. If anybody has a mid-drive motor, they're fastened on by like a tension nut that holds them in place, and if that nut isn't down tight enough on a conventional bike, it can move a little bit in the frame. However, on a recumbent, if you mount it on the mast, that motor can turn all the way around 180 degrees, and it'll strain the wires, and the control wires came unplugged on me, and I've got a fix for that. We've solved the problem overnight and got my 3D printers working, and we developed a part for it. We'll show you that real quick. And anybody that has a mast mount motor, this is a good solution. I don't know if it'll work on every kind of bike, but we can probably develop something to work. So here's my solution to mounting a Bafang MidDrive motor to the mast of a recumbent. Okay, here's the problem, and we'll show you the solution right after the problem. When the chain is hooked up to this and the motor kicks in, it torques backward like this, and as you can see, it kind of wrapped the wire harness around the bottom bracket shell and caused it to pull on these wires, and it pulled this out. So what we're going to do here, let me show you on a customer's motor that I have set up. Okay, this is a 1,000-watt Bafang motor. There's a 350 on that one, but this is basically the same setup. And this is where the mast in the front goes through. These hold the tension to the mast. Okay, so this is the mast. Let's say we're mounting this motor on the bike. And I've developed this block right here, which you can see is shaped like the back of the motor casing, and it won't allow the motor to come back. It's actually braced by this. This is 3D printed. It's solid plastic back here. This thing printed overnight. So, and just to get a little more script about this, this is the bottom. This is the bottom bracket shell where your pedal crank goes through, and this is that bracket. Of course, there's 2 copies of it, and that's how it works. We're going to go ahead and install this and make sure everything works out okay, and we'll let you know. This will become available as an accessory if anybody's interested in motorizing their AR3. This will be the accessory block for that. Okay, so begins our installation. We took the bottom shell out of the adjuster on the front. We simply put that in. Nice snug fit. I love those 3D printers. Nice snug fit on this one. And we center that. That'll fit right about like so. And we're going to put our partially assembled bracket on the other side. It's on like this, and this will have to wait till we mount the motor because the retainer nut has to go on this side. We simply, motor goes in, the bottom shell, I'm going to just pull this off. Approximately where it was, I made a line on the here with a felt tip. Other side of your bracket. Not sure if you can see that the wiring harness is in the way, but it's pretty self-explanatory. We're just reassembling it. 6mm bolts with a 10mm head. Gonna snug those down. We'll pull it up to a spot where it's snugged down to where we can't move it. Then we can do the rest of the operation on it and snug that down last. So we'll pull this forward. Snug him down. I'm going to pull all these down at the same time so it makes a nice flat connection with the bottom of the front stem or front boom. And I'm paying attention to the space between the bracket and the bottom, this bottom plate here. So they all look pretty good. Got our distance correct. Okay. All 4 down. Nice and snug. Now this is be something when we're all finished. Want to give those one more shot at that, but this is very little movement in here. Once we torque this down, we'll torque the force against the back of this bracket here. That's pretty much the installation. The rest of it is follow the guide that they offer to install one of these Bafang MidDrive motors on a conventional bike, and you're there. So hope that helped out. And I wanted to say welcome and thanks for coming back to my shop and staying subscribed to me. I'll have a lot more neat information coming up here as soon as we get through the holidays. So, hey folks, thanks for coming into my shop once again. This is Dave Astenbrenner, and the thing you see over my shoulder, I'll explain it next time. We'll see you next time. Thank you.